If you hear breathing inside your walls tonight, do not try to find where it's coming from, because the moment you locate it, it will know you can hear it too. The first report came from a woman living alone in a narrow apartment building on the edge of the city. At first she assumed it was pipes. Old buildings make noise, water pressure shifts, air moves strangely at night. That's normal. What wasn't normal was rhythm. The sound inside the wall breathed like a person. Slow inhale, long exhale, then silence, then again. Always repeating, always steady. At exactly 2:17 a.m. every night, the breathing never moved, never scratched, never spoke. It simply remained inside the wall behind her bed, alive, listening. The woman recorded the sound on her phone the third night. When she played the recording back the next morning, the breathing was gone, completely absent. But something else replaced it. A second sound, very quiet, almost impossible to hear. Whispering, not random noise. Words, repeated softly over and over again. She heard us. That was the moment she stopped sleeping in the bedroom. But the breathing didn't stay there. The next night, it moved. After a week, the sounds became impossible to ignore. Not louder, closer. The breathing no longer stayed behind one wall. It traveled. Bedroom, kitchen, hallway, bathroom, always remaining just out of sight. Like something moving through spaces too narrow for a human body. The woman started leaving lights on constantly. She played music all night to cover the sound. It didn't help, because eventually, the breathing adapted. It started matching her. If she breathed quickly, it sped up too. If she held her breath, the wall became silent immediately. Perfectly synchronized. That's when panic truly began. Because synchronization means awareness. And awareness means intention. The investigators reviewing the case later discovered something disturbing in one of her final voice recordings. While whispering about the breathing, another breath quietly overlaps hers in the audio, matching timing, matching pace, but deeper, older, like someone inhaling directly beside her, except she was alone when the recording was made. At least, she thought she was. The building residents began reporting similar experiences days later. Not everyone heard breathing. Some heard whispering. Others heard movement inside the walls after midnight. One elderly man claimed he heard someone slowly crawling above his ceiling every night. A child described people inside the apartment who only moved when no one looked directly at the walls. But the strangest testimony came from apartment 14. The tenant reported hearing breathing from inside his bathroom mirror, not reflection, inside, as if the sound existed behind the glass itself. Investigators initially assumed mass paranoia, until thermal imaging was used. The walls showed something impossible. Heat signatures, human-shaped, moving slowly inside the structure of the building. Not rats, not animals. Too large, too deliberate. And whenever someone approached the wall, the shape stopped moving instantly, as if it knew it was being observed. One frame from the thermal footage was enhanced later. The figure appeared crouched between two walls, facing outward, not hiding, watching. The emergency evacuation was approved after the first disappearance. Apartment 11, male tenant, no history of violence, no signs of forced exit. His front door remained locked from the inside, windows sealed. Security cameras showed nobody entering or leaving. But investigators found something strange in the apartment walls afterward. Breathing, not sound. Condensation. The inside of the walls had moisture patterns identical to human respiration. Slow cycles of warm air. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. As if the building itself had lungs. Workers began demolition the next morning. The first wall opened normally. Nothing inside. Second wall. Empty. Third wall. They found fingerprints. Hundreds of them. Pressed into the interior surface from the inside. All facing outward, like someone trapped behind the walls had been trying to push through. Then one worker noticed something worse. The prints weren't random. They were layered. New fingerprints pressed over older ones. Again. And again. And again. Like the same hands had been there for years. The final recorded incident occurred during demolition of the upper floor. Workers had removed almost every interior wall by then. Most residents were gone. The building stood nearly hollow. Exposed beams. Open concrete. Nothing left to hide inside. But the breathing continued. Clearer than ever now. Louder. Because there were fewer walls left between it and them. One worker captured audio seconds before the collapse event. At first, only breathing. Heavy. Slow. Wet. Then a voice. Extremely low. Barely human. Speaking from somewhere deep inside the structure. "We can hear you now." The workers froze immediately. Because the voice didn't echo. It came from everywhere at once. Walls. Ceiling. Floor. All around them. Then the building responded. Every remaining wall produced the same sound simultaneously. A massive inhale, the entire structure breathing inward together. And then, silence. Complete silence. Before the screaming started underneath the floorboards. The building was demolished 3 days later. Official cause, structural instability. No public statement was ever released. No media coverage survived online longer than a few hours. Most recordings disappeared completely. But one document remained archived internally. A maintenance report filed 6 months before the first incident. Only one sentence was highlighted. Breathing noises are normal after midnight. Tenants should avoid responding. No explanation followed. No author identified, because by then, someone already knew the walls were listening. And if you're hearing strange breathing in your room tonight, don't test it. Don't knock on the wall. Don't whisper back. Most importantly, don't try to hear it more clearly, because the moment you stop treating the sound like imagination, it stops treating you like an observer. And if the breathing suddenly matches yours, leave immediately, before the walls learn where you sleep.